All right, class. So now what I want to do is I would like to get into screen share. And so let me go ahead and this time I'm going to record to the cloud. So maybe you guys can see how this is behaving. Um, do I really want to do that? Nah, I won't do it this time either. But here we go. I'm just going to go ahead and close down manage participants as well as my chat. That's what we talked about last time. I'll make this a little bit bigger as it kind of produces a certain kind of thing effect. So I'm going to go to share screen. This is the primary thing that I want to show. It says one participant can share at a time. Multiple participants can share simultaneously. And I should look at advanced sharing options, but I don't know much about that. So I'll just go ahead and go to share screen. So from share screen, we can do desktop. So right now I'm looking at the entire desktop, and you can do the same thing if it's something that you want to share. Like if you have multiple apps open and you just really don't want to go between sharing that particular application and another one. And we also have, and so I could just go ahead and share that screen. So what you see is you see all of this. I mean, you just see the screen. And I'm going to stop share. I'm going to go back to share screen. And whiteboard, that's right here. And what I can do on the whiteboard, of course, I can write here. That's kind of cool. Okay. I don't really like to write on this, but if you have to write on this, I guess that's cool. I'm always writing Newton's second law. All right, so I'm just going to stop sharing that. It looks as though you can save this. So it says show in Finder. And now I'm just going to go ahead and let me see. I'm going to stop that, stop share. And then I want to go back to share again. And even though I'm selecting on that particular piece, when you're in the class, you want to use this share button down here. So if I go to iPad via iPad Play, I'm just going to select on that, double click. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my iPad here, and I can screen mirror, and you'll see that I have Zoom. So where did I get that from? I actually went to this little device here, and I have my screen. I can choose Zoom. I can choose the Apple TV, but I'm choosing Zoom here. And so mm, let me see here. So one of the things that I like about this, instead of using the other one, let me see. Let me just produce a journal here, and let me just call it Zoom. Okay, and if I want to, I can create a custom color, but that's not really necessary. So I'll just make my cover yellow. So what I like about this application, and you can choose whichever application you like. I'm going to try to make this big here, bigger. What I like about this application is that I can write directly on the screen, and that way I can take all my notes. So I can say something like, uh, I can write something like kinematic theory of projectile motion. I can always back that up, motion. And if I wanted to, I could just present equations, fairly simple. And right now I'm squeezing on the screen. So if I drop the screen down, you'll see that it zooms out. So what I'm doing is I'm zooming in by pinching the screen. And so I can just say something like x final minus x initial. And this is for you math folks and physics. And we can have v initial times the cosine of theta times t minus plus 1/2 times the acceleration in the x direction, not squared, bro, times t squared. So we can present all kinds of stuff. We can think about it. We can have these as videos that we can share in the classroom, and that's awesome. And so that's just one application that you can use. There's another one called Nebo, where you can do some things like, I mean, some of the same things. And whichever applications you're using, you can display on here. So this is a program that I use to learn different programs. Let me see. This is a C sharp, but you can see right here. I can learn C sharp, Python, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, C++, PHP, SQL, Java, and Swift. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that you can walk students directly through it. Okay, so they have these challenges here, but this is just something that, I like, and it's right on the iPad and it's free. You can work with it on the iPad or the desktop, just as far as like assignments or anything like that. So these are ways in which you can integrate the iPad. So the next thing I'll show is some screen where I have some, let's see, I'm going to bring up, let me see here. I'm going to bring up a worksheet that sometimes I work on or that I've worked on. And I'm going to close this down. So right now you're looking at it on the outside, and I need to make this smaller. Okay. So we did this in class, and what I'm going to do, I need to make this smaller. Shoot, this is like huge. So big. All right, there we go. Now I can actually make it a little bit bigger. So you can't really see what I'm doing right now, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So now you'll see that I have a Microsoft. You could see it. I'm sorry, that's the wrong video. So, but if I was working in Zoom, you wouldn't be able to see it. So I'm just going to double click on this one. And so right now you'll see that the sheet is uh, in the sheet itself is highlighted. So anything that you want to focus on, you can focus on right here. And if I wanted to increase the size, I could. Basically, we have like all of this data, so I can look at regression analysis, and we did. Let me see here. We did like statistics on here, descriptive statistics. Let me see. And with the descriptive statistics, we actually found the probability distribution. And so, like, this is real world data, and you can present it right here to the students and record it and give them access to it. Okay. So that's that. I'm just going to stop that. And the last thing is pretty much the camera. And so we talked about the camera before, and I'll share the screen if I can. So there I go. So right now we're just sharing the camera only, and we could switch the camera, of course. We talked about that. It's not linked up right now, and this is the last thing when it comes to sharing. All righty. That'll be it for today as far as the camera, as far as the sharing screen. All right.